Okay, we have something new here for old Green. It is a brand new carburetor. Brand new. It's not rebuilt or anything. That is actually brand new. And it don't even have a gas smell to it or anything. It's never had gas in it. So, this one does have the automatic choke on it. So, we will probably just go ahead and take that off. I'm not sure. We might leave it on. I'm not going to hook it up yet, but I'll just end up adjusting it where it'll run, and then we'll figure that out later. First thing, though, we need to make sure that this carburetor is like that carburetor. So, let's put him right up here. But see, I've rebuilt this carburetor. I rebuilt it myself once. And probably about 10 years later, I had a friend of mine knew somebody that could rebuild it, and I just let him take it and rebuild it. It still has a problem. This plate down here, well, you can see it on this one better. This whole piece right here is wore out. Where this shaft goes in right here. Yeah, there you go. That part right there, there's a little bushing in there you can replace, but it's been replaced and it's wore out. So we're not gonna try to do it again. See, it has a vacuum leak right through where the throttle plate goes across there. So we ain't gonna use that. We're gonna take that off and redo it. And I figure while there is no front end on old Green, this will be the time to do it. But it looks like everything will work. Now, should be pretty straightforward to swap this out. You've got a bolt there and one on the other side. Those have to come off. The fuel line has got to come off. Linkage, of course, has got to come off. And a choke cable. So, see what we can do here. Okay, first thing we want to do, take off this fuel line. And let me find something to plug it with here. Okay, this little bolt should work pretty good. So we're going to loosen up the clamp. Maybe a little bit more. And move the clamp back. Sometimes the hose may not come off easily. See, this one is slipping pretty good, but if the hose doesn't just pop off pretty easy, all you really have to do is take a pair of pliers, grab it, and twist it, and it'll break it loose. So we got that. And we don't want it to set and drain fuel out, so we're going to put a bolt in it. Pull the clamp back up. And we're going to tighten the clamp around the bolt, so we're not sitting here draining gas. Okay. Okay, now to take that out, don't have a wrench big enough to fit, so got my vice grips. I'll clamp on there, and that was good and tight. Okay, need to hang on to that piece. Okay. Now we have a vacuum line right here. There's not much. This is a pretty simple setup. The linkage right here, I should be able to just pretty much pull it off like that. And we got the choke. Should actually be able to just use my little tool. And that just kind of comes out just like that. Okay, there is the carburetor, the old one. You can see a little bit of movement. But, alright, we got a new gasket with it. Okay, now we have the two carburetors on the workbench. And we want to make this one more or less look like this. This spring, we're going to put it from right here up to there. Now that's your return spring. See, that is what pulls your throttle back. Okay. Now we have this piece right here. As you can see, it's got a bolt here and a nut here. So, see what size that is. And it looks like it's going to unscrew with no problem, but you might have to hold this at some, in some cases. I got lucky and I didn't have to. Okay, so that is this piece. So this will go back in right here. There's not that much to a carburetor like this because this is before all the emission controls stuff. This little ear. Go down onto the linkage right here, and it will work the throttle. And this also goes up and it hits this for the choke. See, it didn't have that piece on here, which is fine. You can tell there's still, the traffic pump's still pumping gas. Hear that? Anyway, okay. Now we need our gas inlet, which is this right here. And we're just going to thread that right in. Pipe needs to turn like that. Need to try to get everything pretty much angled the same way that it was. And this seals internally to that. I've heard of people putting like thread tape or something on this connection. You really don't need that because this is not where your seal happens. The seal happens on the inside. The end of this pipe matches perfectly inside. So when you tighten this up, the seal happens inside. So Teflon tape, which would melt anyway, is not needed here. Alrighty. I do believe we are ready to do the installation. Okay, of course we have a brand new gasket, so we'll get rid of this old one. Or could have been a couple leaks in that. Yeah, I'll say it didn't have a real good seal. So we are going to throw that one away. And we need to clean this all up. And I'm going to stuff a rag down in here. Keep any debris out. And I'm going to go around with a little piece of sandpaper. I needed something a little more aggressive, but it's like a 400 grit. It will work. Good enough. I want to get a good clean surface so that the new gasket can seal. Well, what's the use of putting a new gasket on if it's not going to seal up? Okay. I believe that's pretty good. Now we have a new gasket that came with the carburetor. Right there. There is that. And here is this. Up. There we go. There it is. And of course do everything exactly the opposite of what you just did a while ago. And just get everything bolted back up. That has to get plugged in. We will also need a hot to run to here. See what I can find. Okay, for a hot for the choke, I'm just going to run a circuit straight from the fuse panel that is powered by the ignition when the ignition is on. Okay. Put the terminal on. And we will plug it in right here. Well, one connection. And that will be the hot for the automatic choke. Okay, now what you want with the wire that is going to the automatic choke is, right now, everything is off and 0. Okay, Let me turn the key on. Key switch is on. And we have, well, the battery's a little low, but we have battery voltage there. Okay. Okay, now I think we are about to see if we can get her to start. Then I'm going to show you, after she warms up pretty good, I'm going to show you how to set the carburetor. Now you got to remember, there's no gas in this carburetor yet. So you got to crank for a minute to get the gas to fill up the bulb. Okay, you can see the choke has pulled itself open a little bit. It's at high idle right now. There's just dropped down. We'll let her warm up a few minutes. I think that choke opens a little quick. Okay, now that we're up to operating temperature, I have hooked a vacuum gauge into manifold vacuum on the carburetor down here. This is your mixture adjustment screw. What you want to do, I usually I go all the way in with the screw before I start it. Back it out 1.5 turns. Usually it'll start and run there, but it won't run good, you know. But you don't want to start too lean. You want to start too rich and work your way toward lean. So, you watch the vacuum gauge. You want to get this as steady and as close to 20 as you can get it. If I can hit the screw. And I'm going to back it out. And you'll hear the engine start smoothing. Okay, you see, it went down and then now it's going back up. Go back in just a little bit. Maybe blip the throttle a little bit. And then check it again. I think that's about the most I'm going to get out of it. That's not bad. Like 18 inches of vacuum on a 50-year-old engine. That's not too bad. Actually, that's pretty good. I wasn't expecting it to be that good. Okay. Smooth. Now your idle speed. The idle speed's about right. Of course, the tach is laying over on the workbench, so I don't think it's working. So we'll just do it by ear. And I think that's about right. You can see here, you can see the choke is open. It's in the up position. See, here's the choke. It's automatically working. All this is a hot. It's a hot that is tied into the ignition. Not to the coil. Into when you turn the key on the ignition, this comes on. But I think that's going to about do it. I'm going to get my air cleaner on, get everything buttoned up. But that's how to replace and tune up a carburetor. Thank you for watching. I'll see you the next time.